Hey everybody, Rachel here from Rachthestamper, and today I'm going to show you one of my August club kits. This one is a pretty simple card, and for this club kit I want to let you know ahead of time. I did actually choose 4 different stamp sets because I couldn't find one theme to stick with. So I have 2 that kind of go together, Painted Poppies and Peaceful Moments, only because Painted Poppies doesn't have any sentiments. And then I also brought in Buffalo Check. So I did do a little bit of this ahead of time because I didn't want to have you wait. This is kind of a variation on a card I did the other day live, so I'm going to show you. Very simple. This base is Sahara Sand, 4 1/4 by 11. I scored it at 5 1/2. So we have that all ready. Just reinforce our fold. Then I have a piece of Bumblebee cardstock, which is 4 by 5 1/4, and then I already went ahead and stamped the poppy images. This is just on a scrap piece because we don't need this whole piece, so you could get 2 cards out of one, but this is on a scrap piece of Whisper White. So I stamped this in Memento, and then I went ahead and colored these in using Light Pumpkin Pie, Light Mango Melody, and Light Poppy Parade. So just to give you an idea, I started with the mango. I went in and added a little bit of pumpkin pie. I made the poppy go into the darker spaces, and then I went back over everything again with the light mango melody. So you could also add stems, but I think for this one, instead of adding stems because it's going to bring in a green, I'm going to just leave it as is. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually cut this out with our die cut machine, and I'm going to show you how we're going to do it. So for this one, we're going to have these 3 lined up, so kind of like 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to pick one in the center, and I'm kind of just trying to center it on the image. It doesn't have to be specific. And what I actually might do just to make sure it's uniform is I'm going to line the bottom of the die up with the bottom of the cardstock, so I know I have a place that is fairly uniform. So I'm going to go with that, and then I'm going to run this through the die cut machine, and then I'm going to show you the rest of what we're going to do. So let me just grab this and pop this in. Okay, so what I am going to do, I'm going to put another piece down here just so I know it's even, is I'm just going to slightly tilt this, that way it doesn't go through on the hard edge, which I'm always telling you not to do, but sometimes I don't listen to my own advice. Okay, one other thing I wanted to mention is that I am really close to my sales goal this month. I am less than $700. I have never been that close before. So if you have anything that you need to buy, I would truly appreciate for you to shop in my online store. I'm trying to get there before August because it turns over again, and then I'll have a whole nother goal. So I'm just sliding this over, lining it up, and again, I'm just making sure that the bottom edge lines up with the bottom of the paper. So I would love for you to shop with me, even if you have something small. Every little bit adds up. I really do appreciate your support. August is a big month. This will be the first time I ever hit this sales goal, and it could be the last, but you never know. I'm always shooting for goals, so, but it would be pretty awesome to be able to do it. So I'm just lifting up my tape. This is very well used purple tape, so it should let go fairly easily. And then for the last time, I'm just going to go over here and line it up. And again, I'm trying to kind of stay pretty close, but I don't want the stitching to show up since it does stitch on both sides. So I'm trying to make sure that I don't go on to the stitching where I already cut. So there is a teeny bit of space in there. So we're going to do that one just like that. Run this through one more time. Okay, now I'm going to save this die, this piece of paper I should say, and this die because I may do my sentiment on it. I still haven't decided 100% what sentiment I want to use. I think I know, but I'm not sure. So I'm going to just pull this off. So then I have my 3 pieces. So 1, 2, 3, and they're all the same, and they kind of have that little space missing, which makes them look super duper cute. So then I'm going to take my Bumblebee. I was going to call it pumpkin pie. That is definitely not pumpkin pie. I'm going to take my Bumblebee. Now you could do this one of 2 ways, okay? So what you could do is you could take your ink pad, and I'm going to try kind of both ways, a little combo, and you kind of stamp it directly on here. So that's Bumblebee. And then for something just a little bit different, I'm going to take my Cinnamon Cider ink pad, and I'm going to take a mostly clean sponge and I'm going to ink it with a little bit of cinnamon cider, and I'm kind of just going to kind of break the edges so I don't have any lines there. And then I'll kind of just tap it around, just like so, because I just want a little bit of variance in color. Cinnamon cider can be a pretty dark color, especially if you're stamping onto something lighter. So I'm just going to take my piece right here and I'm just going to pop it kind of askew. I don't really want it to be even. I don't really even want it over the whole entire thing. And that looks cute. That's good enough, just like that. I'll take this and clean this later. And then the only thing left we have is our sentiment. So we have that. We have our little 3 pieces. I also grabbed a piece of the braided linen trim, which I really like because you can make this big. You can kind of spread it out, or you can keep it kind of tight and thin. So it's really up to you. So we'll see which way looks best. So I feel like I have another Thinking of You card, and I really, really like this stamp set just because it's just simple. It's got a lot of really nice, simple stuff. So I think what I'm going to do for this one is I'm just going to make it into a really simple birthday. So where's my happy birthday? We're just going to do happy birthday. I am going to use this little leftover piece. And I'm going to try, as a matter of fact, just to keep that cinnamon cider in just a little bit, I'm going to see what this looks like. Do this in cinnamon cider. And what we might do is cut that down just a smidge. And actually, you know what I'm going to do, just kind of to avoid the overdoing of the stitching, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just trim it out. So I'm just going to grab my little mini guillotine trimmer. And let's see if we can do this way first. I'm going to cut this. And that way we won't use all that. I'm going to trim this down. Another thing you could do if you wanted to is to add it to a little circle, because that would look kind of neat with the rectangle, and then bring a circle instead. So you could always add you could do a little circle punch if you have one, or a little circle die cut, but we're going to leave it with this for right now. Okay, so now all we have to do is assemble this. So I'm going to just use liquid glue. Come on. I know you're not empty yet. Yeah, maybe it is. Could be that I used it all. Well, let me go on to this one because I know this had some in. This is one where I tried to unclog it a little bit and I accidentally loosened it so much that I can't get the tip on, so I started putting this one a different direction. Put that like that. Had a little glue booger I had to get off of there. So there's that. And then we're going to kind of see how we want to line this up. Oop, forgot the middle. So we kind of have it like that. And we'll put our happy birthday up at the top. And I'm going to just wrap our string behind here. So if you wanted to, you could have wrapped this ahead of time. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put some glue. Not a lot, just kind of enough that it'll hold it in place. It looks like a lot, but I promise you it's not. So I'm going to put this, open this up, just a little on the end. And just kind of give it a little press down to hold. Oops. Now, the reason I chose liquid glue is a lot of times I feel like sometimes you'll get these really, really shiny spots when you use your tape runner, and it never quite ends up not sticking, whereas with the glue, once it's dry, it's really pretty well dried. So I'm just going to add a couple of dimensionals, do 3 to each. Well, that was convenient because they all came off in 3s. Okay, so I'm going to put my middle one on first. So there's one. And this should be the right. I still am kind of giving it a little space. And you could also do another thing with your ribbon that's there behind. You could actually trim it in two, and then you could kind of have one piece coming out of the top and one piece coming out of the bottom, but I still kind of like it the way it is. It's very natural. And the only other thing we have to do is put on our happy birthday. I'm going to put it on over here just to offset it. Now this one, I'm not going to pop up. I'm just going to put this one straight down. And I also like being able to use the liquid glue because it gives you the mobility that if you want to adjust something, you can adjust it and it's not really 100% stuck on there. So very simple card. Let's see if I can straighten this out just a teeny tad. Try to make sure that you don't have glue on your fingers when you're touching it so you don't end up with those little dirt spots. But most of what we put on there with the glue is covered because we put all of our glue kind of under where those rectangles were going to go. So we shouldn't have any glue that will stick to anybody. And then you can always fray your edges a little bit more if you want to. And just a really simple card. I mean, all we did is it's just a little bit of coloring with our 3 Stampin' Blends, and then we used, again, the Bumblebee, and we added a little bit of cinnamon cider. We stamped our cinnamon and cinnamon cider, and you could also have done the sentiment in black if you wanted to, just have a little bit more of a clean look. But I hope you guys enjoyed this card today, and I hope you have enjoyed this August card club. If you have any questions, you can send me an email at rachthestamper@gmail.com. If you have any comments, you can always leave them here below. I love to read your comments. If you have any ideas for a future club or any just suggestions about the card, I love hearing that kind of stuff. So please, if you have anything, let me know. And also, if you are purchasing anything, we really appreciate if you use this host code. We have an open party right now, and the hostess would truly appreciate your benefits. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day.